Season 11 has finally been announced. We have a release date official this time announced, and we have the first brand new mode, confirmation of when tiers are coming, 4 extra new levels to complete before the new season. We're going to explain everything in this video, go through the new mode and show off how it works and what it looks like. But first of all, we're going to get our 2 Wyatt 6 cards. But I'd like to know in the comments down below, one, what you think about this brand new mode coming into season 11, but also 2, what was your last Wyatt 6 card? Or even if you haven't got one yet, how many Nightbird tokens do you have right now? And if you are excited for season 11, I need one last thing from you, and that is a thumbs up. It really does only take 2 seconds. It's completely free. So let's get the first ones. The chat has spoken, and apparently everyone thinks we're going to get Joe Gacy, which would actually be a pro, considering I got him from the QR code. Currently, I have Uncle Howdy, Eric Rowan, and Joe Gacy. Now, if I get Dexter Loomis, he's in the quest, so that'd be a pro. If I get Nikki Cross, she's the only one who is a single for me. And at this point in time, I am not spending 9,000 credits on this card. So, you know better, but does my Twitch chat know better? Well, if you want to join the Twitch chat, go over to my Twitch channel and hit that follow button. But until the end of this video, let's see if we get Joe Gacy or whether we're going to get a pro of Uncle Howdy, which to me is the most important one. Let's do it. Open up pack number 1. It's, well, the chat does know better. It's Joe Gacy for the pro and more XP, which we're going to be talking about in just a moment. And then the second one, next pack, it is Uncle Howdy. Yes, that's the one I wanted. As much as I'd love to have Nikki Cross, that is the one I wanted. Perfect. Combine Uncle Howdy Pro. Let's go, baby. It's time that we go over and sort out what's going on in season 11 and why you might not want to save some of the rewards you've got, but only some of them. And what's the deal with all these new levels we've got to complete? Anyway, segue. The first thing to say is we're not getting a reset. It looks like the stats are going to continue. This is going to be a season 2 to season 3 deal where the stats seemingly are going to continue. We don't know where the stat cutoff is or the card cutoff at the moment, but we're going to find out more as it happens. But season 11 is here, starting with a boom, or by boom. And it says in the last year, SuperCard entered its 10th season, and through the last decade, we've created thousands of superstar cards, dozens of game modes and events, and hundreds of special and limited edition cards, and we've never messed anything up at all. Not even once. They did put an asterisk there. Really? 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 Reset everything in season 10 to make it better, and I will agree towards the end of the season they've made the game completely different to how it was, right? Now, what they did say in this blog post is that don't expect anything that's going to be game-changing with Season 11. It is continuing effectively what they started with Season 10. Will there be a UI overhaul? We don't know at the moment, but what it does say is there'll be much to talk about as we approach the launch date. There's going to be a bunch of stuff going up to November the 13th, the official release date. If you're not already subscribed, now is the time to subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss a single thing when the new season drops, or even before the new season drops. What they haven't confirmed is how many new tiers we're going to get when the new season drops. So I would guess before I went in game that this would be 3 new tiers as it has been in previous seasons. However, when you find out something later on with regards to new levels in the XP system, it might end up being 4 new rarities. We're still headed in the same direction, but we've made some key changes that we'll think will result in a cooler, smoother ride. That starts off with boom. It's a crown jewel in the tiara that is season 11 as an always on bout based game mode experience. So basically Survivor with bouts. So it is going to be an always on mode, but it does look exciting. It has regular, weekly, and daily rewards in these things called slam packs. So maybe they're going to be making change in game to some of the stuff that was there. Again, we don't know much more other than what's been said. I don't think Survivor's going anywhere, but perhaps we will lose certain modes. But it is something a lot of people have asked for, a permanent mode that's always on, always giving rewards. But yeah, we need a little bit of a refresh. Maybe take away King of the Ring. Boom is described as something that felt genuinely fresh and interesting. Will be SuperCard's most strategic and tactical game mode to date without sacrificing any of the thrill and fanfare that comes with clobbering an opponent in the ring. The basics are Boom begins with an empty 3x5 grid of empty spaces. You and your opponent each have 15 cards in your deck with 4 of those cards in hand. What I want to know, is the computer your opponent or is it another person as your opponent? The objective is to fill the board with as many cards as possible and win each column on the board by increasing your point total in each respective column. To do that, you'll need to play your cards in the right places to conquer spaces, earn points to remove the opponent's cards from play. The player who has the highest point total when either the board is full or both players are out of cards wins, which is like most modes in this game. And it says these cards won't be facing off in a traditional one-on-one basis. It is not stat based, it is based on the cards you've got, and the card numbers, based on what we've seen screenshot wise, are truncated down to lower numbers. It does take the ranking of the cards in each tier into effect, but it then reduces it down to a point value. Each card has an area of effect and an ability that they will basically use to conquer spots on the board, support your other cards, and force your opponent into submission. Your card's point value represents how many points each card will add to the column it's played in when it enters the board. It mentions about an LA Knight card having 26 point values, and you play it in the right hand column, you'll add points to your total in that column. Each column's going to have a point total at the top and a point total at the bottom. The one at the top is your enemy or your rival, and the point total at the bottom is which one you've got. It says the better the card, the higher the point value. At the moment, I don't think the arrow makes any difference. It does say area of effect or AoE and abilities go hand in hand. In addition to their point value, each card in your deck has an ability that will affect the cards around it when they are placed on the board. Some cards' abilities will boost your other cards' point values, whilst others focus on reducing the point values of your opponent's card. So each one's going to have a different ability that's going to make a difference to the cards that you're playing. I'm guessing the area of effect will be like certain cards will have it all around the outside, some will be diagonals, kind of like, I guess, chess, I assume, but it's point values instead of being able to take certain cards out. Each card's ability is determined by the superstar on the card. You can't change the ability given to each card. That's a little disappointing. That'd have been really cool if you could do that. Some cards have extra oomph added to their abilities. However, you can see which ones are more powerful in the ability tab of the Boom mode. AoE, or area of effect, represents one of the most strategic elements of Boom. It determines which spaces around your cards are affected by each card's ability, but they are not permanently tied to each card like their ability. Instead, AoE is determined by which slot in your deck each card occupies. This means that you can pick and choose which cards get AoEs based on their point values and abilities, and when customizing your deck, assigning the right deck slots and AoEs by extension to your best cards will be crucial, ensuring victory. The game and how you play it, the 3 columns in the Boom grid represent the areas you need to control to gain points. If you have more points than the opponent in the given column, you win that column, and all the points gained from your card's point values go towards your overall point total. You want to control as many columns as possible to end the game with more points than your opponent. When you place your card on the board, its AoE will determine what happens next. You cannot place a card on a space unless you control it. You can't just go bop right at their base. You gotta move your way up the board by winning and placing your cards in different areas. But you can go sideways if you have the AoE in the right places. There are a few ways to gain control of a space. Let's say you got a card of an AoE of the 3 spaces above it. Its ability causes it to do damage to enemy cards. If you use the ability to knock out one or more of the opponent's cards, you gain control of those spaces. This is where it's going to be quite fun. You're going to have different options to use, whether you do like all sideways or diagonally or in any direction. It's a constant king of the hill land grab way in which you've got to coordinate your attacks with spaces you own. The question I've got is, if you are playing, let's say, another person, which it does give a hint that maybe that's what you'll be doing, what's the limitation to their play requirements? Do you play a game, then they play a game, etc.? Is it going to be like TLC, where you're just going to be waiting for 12 hours for them to play a game? But that's where the strategy comes in. If it seems complicated, don't worry, you'll acclimate quickly. We've built Boom to be easy to jump into for a quick game, but challenging enough to keep you scheming and strategizing for your next win. Okay, that makes sense. So the rewards work a little bit differently than other modes. Firstly, you'll earn rewards based on your win streak. As you keep winning, you'll gain access to increasingly valuable packs. as your win streak increases. If you're constantly winning multiple games in a row, you'll be raking in more valuable cards if you're losing consistently. Rewards also rotate daily, meaning each of the 5 streak packs will change from day to day. So very similar to Tag Team Takedown with the 5 streak packs. So it's like a bunch of different modes mashed together. Maybe that's what it's replacing. Maybe Boom is there to mash a bunch of modes together into one. Some days will provide rewards unique to your player level, and some days will have rare cards available to all regardless of your level. That's nice. It's up to you to check back regularly to see what you're after. What I don't like about that is a little bit of FOMO. So you have to go into the game and play if it's a good level of rewards. I would say it'd be nice to have, let's say, an announcement earlier on. This day, Boom will have this special card in it. Maybe. That'd be nice. Each game of Boom you win adds to the global leaderboard total. If you win with a score of 100 points, that's additionally 100 points to your total. The more points you accrue, the higher your place on the leaderboard, and you'll be given rewards at regular intervals based on your place on the leaderboard. We don't like that because everyone can use things to get up the top of the leaderboard that maybe aren't as legal, how we say, game-wise. It does say there's a bunch of extra stuff coming up in the next couple of days and a week to come. It does mention that there are going to be 4 additional player levels, which you may or may not have seen if you start to get XP from packs. I did notice that they've been putting packs out of XP, but I didn't really think too much about it because I just thought, hey, this pops up every now and then. But no, the XP is important because it's actually offered us 4 extra rewards. You can collect these now and not worry about them upgrading. These are just extra Inferno rewards, and every reward you get is important because it's going to up your XP. Every card, if you're an Inferno, that is going to just get more and more XP. And the poor man's for number 51. Again, don't be afraid to open these. These are always going to stay as Inferno, so don't worry. The American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, it's not a brand new card. It was not a pro card for me, but it is still a brand new card, and that's what really matters. And we need that. Now, my advice on this is to get as many Inferno cards as you possibly can and combine as many Inferno cards as you can as well. Game modes like, let's say, King of the Ring would be good, Survivor, but I would also just err on the side of caution there, because if you do decide to open packs, whether you're doing offer walls to get credits or you're buying credits and using them to buy packs in game, realistically speaking, you don't really need to go for these extra levels. Whilst they are designed to give people a boost, and if you do reach the final level of 54, you will completely usurp the tier that is at the beginning of season 11. But if you are buying top tier packs at the very beginning of the new season and buying special edition cards, you are going to soar up those rankings straight away, just like you did at the very beginning of season 10. So please don't give in to the FOMO if you don't reach the top. If you're not free to play, then honestly, I don't think you got much to worry about. I might be wrong, but that's just me. One thing I can see them doing is cutting the player level down to 0 at the very beginning, or 7 if you manage to reach 54. For free-to-play players, get as many Inferno cards as possible. The collectibles, get yourself as many White 6 cards. It'd also be worth going for the Reckoning as well. The collectibles are not hard to get your hands on if you're doing 24/7 mode. And any events, for example, go for as many Inferno cards as you can. There is a daily streak going at the moment for mysterious rewards, apparently. And the first one is a random Stone Cold Steve Austin from Tundra tier. I'm not sure why, but I don't know. Maybe it's got something special to it. And apparently there's one at the end to celebrate season 10. Maybe it's another Inferno card. Who knows? So yeah, just take advantage of the free Inferno cards they're basically chucking at people right now. Especially, and I did have this other video, by the way, which talked about people going through campaign. This is a good opportunity to go watch that when you're done with this one. Going through campaign at the moment, getting all these rewards, which if you haven't seen them already are 2205, 2226. Getting yourself all those super coins, getting yourself all those rewards are going to get you crazy amounts of XP. So that would also be a good opportunity to cash in big. One thing I do want to see in Season 11, by the way, is XP from Fortifiers, because that kind of sucks that you don't get rewarded for that. But yeah, the White 6 is a good opportunity, and the Reckoning packs, if you've got the White 6 cards and you've got some extras, go for those to get yourself those packs. But they are going to have card reveals in the meantime, so again, make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already, because this is going to be a crazy week of SuperCard content. I will have a full video of what you should be keeping and what you should be using. I'm gonna say now, I would be quite fluid with my Giants Unleashed rewards. I don't necessarily think you're gonna lose a whole heap from getting your Giants Unleashed packs done. Now, if it's gonna get you XP, I would just go ahead and just do it. Why not? And unless you're really focusing on getting as many Rarity draft picks as possible, listen, it's not a TSG pack. Let's just put it that way. It's not leftover rewards from a battle pass. It's very minimal. If you do get yourself an Inferno card from it, then you know what? It's all XP towards this extra set of objectives before the end of the season. Or you just get yourself some Maxime Dupree. Woo! There's apparently going to be polls as well, so I assume that's going to be for the first event card in the new season. I'm guessing more blogs for new modes, perhaps maybe a new team event, maybe a new team event. I mean, we haven't had a new team event in 8 years, 9 years, in fact. Yeah, because we'd like one that sticks around this time. But if you haven't done so already, go over to this video up here, which tells you about this method if you're a free-to-play player, or if you just haven't focused on campaign, of how to get the best rewards. Even now, more important, alternatively, go to this video down here. If you haven't scanned it to get your free White 6 card, it tells you all about how to get it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Bye-bye.